Hi. This is going on my Marsha the Two Great channel because this is going to be too hot for TV. Okay. This is going to be too hot for TV, but it is a rant. And once again, I am being very, very, very fucking blunt, okay? First thing is, congratulations, Gangstalking. Fascism is here. Congratulate yourself. I've been warning you for 20 fucking years and you didn't fucking listen because it was more important for you to say whatever fucking bullshit thing you want and do whatever bullshit thing you want without consequence than it was to save the entire fucking planet. Congratulations. Congratulations. You've done splendidly. I must say. Bang up job. Bang up job. Bang up job. Bang up job. You want to know how I know that? Because not only is Tommy Robinson targeting kids, but also all our information, all our NHS information has now been centralized and now is in the hands of a defense company called Palantir, the same defense systems company that was, let me see, founded by a white supremacist eugenicist called Peter Thiel, and also has a CEO that is very good friends with Trump and loves ICE. So our information is all in the hands of fucking Z-words and fascists. I thought the 3 million moron march was bad, but baby, it's about to get a whole lot worse. Fascism is here. Gang stalking is mainstream. I said it would be mainstream, and now here we are. And I've been thinking about that. I've been thinking about all of that, and I realize that as a human being, I'm not immune from this. But I realize that us human beings, we don't really like each other, and we don't show up for each other. And I know people are going to say, well, that's not true. There are functioning families. There are friendships. No. What I mean by that is we think we have beliefs, but we're not willing to battle test them to the point where we are willing to meet somebody we don't like or somebody that doesn't make us feel good halfway. Whoever doesn't make us feel good, I am not exempt from this. Whoever doesn't make us feel good, we punish. We punish. Or we try to condescend to them in a form of concern trolling. We punish people who don't make us feel good. We punish them for the crime of existing. Now, there are some people who are more guilty of this than others. But it's something that we all do. We are willing to make the necessary sacrifices, for example, for having an excellent career, or having a family, being right. In my case, we're all willing to make the necessary sacrifices in order to have what we want in this life. But what we're not willing to do is we're not willing to make the sacrifices it takes to make a world that is safe for everyone. None of us have been willing to make that sacrifice. None of us have wanted to show up for each other. Let's be real, it's fucking true. Every single piece of social media out there is just an echo chamber telling people what they want to hear and not examining the other side at all. Not empathizing, not giving a fuck. Again, there are certain people who are more guilty of that than others. I won't sugarcoat that. But we do the same shit in varying degrees. We don't show up for each other, and it's as simple as that. We don't like each other. And me as a human being, I have come on here asking people I don't like, people I don't respect, people, in some cases, people that I even want dead, to show up for me, to care about my life, to help me survive, to help me grow, to help me thrive. And I realize the hypocrisy of that. Why should I want somebody to show up for me when I don't like? There are some people I don't like, Some people are outright hate, and there are some people that don't even want to live. And I'm begging people when I come online for them to show up for me. I don't want you to live. I don't think you deserve life, but show up for me. I hate you, but show up for me. I don't like you, but show up for me. I will never show up for you, but show up for me. And I get it. I'm a vulnerable woman, you know, and, you know, again, mad, crazy, nobody's going to listen to me anyway. So that diminishes my level of responsibility in a theoretical sense, but like in a moral one. Time doesn't care about who's sick and who's not sick. Time cares about one thing: what people do and the results of what people do. What you focus on, you will get. What you expect, you will get. And what you fight for, you will get. All my life I fought to be right because I always felt like I was wrong. So that's what I got. I didn't get races of people putting aside their differences, letting the truth lead, and actually doing the work to focus on real healing. I didn't get that because that's not what I wanted. I didn't get children being properly raised and taken care of, like children not being abused anymore. I didn't get that because that wasn't what I was fighting for at the time. I was fighting to be seen by people that I didn't even like or respect or care about. That's what I was fighting for this whole time. And as human beings, that's what we're all trained to do. We're all trained to court the attention of people that we don't like, people that we don't care about, people that we want dead. We're trained to court the attention of people that we don't give a fuck about. And the only time when we really unite with each other is when we hate somebody else more than we hate each other. And that's the only time we ever show up for each other like that. That, and when we tell each other what we want to hear, like in a way that fits our ideal of who we think we are, rather than who we actually are. So I've been unfair too. I know I was sick. I know I've had a lot of mental health problems. I know about all of that. Time never takes illness into account. It doesn't take age into account. It doesn't take any of that into account. All it ever takes into account is what you've done and what you expected. And that's it. So I'm responsible too. I'm responsible too. I'm over here wanting to show up people to show up for me when I don't even like most people. I don't even like most people. And I expect people to show up for me. It's not fair. But the thing is, the more privilege you have as a human being, is the more you expect that. And ironically, the more you expect that is the more that you actually get it. The more you expect that you don't have to like anybody, you don't have to show up for anybody, you don't have to even want anybody alive for them to show up for you. The more you expect that, which is what comes with privilege, is the more you actually have that as a reality. The only reason why my hatred and my murderous hatred and my murderous bile for other people wasn't rewarded was because I was marginalized. That's the only reason why I wasn't rewarded. But privileged people do not have a monopoly on hatred. You see that little gleam in their eyes that they have every time that they torture you? They do that because they think that in their moment they're the monster. They're the monster and they can get away with it. This person is crying because they want me to like them. This person is crying because they like me. They like me and they want me to like them. They have no idea, as the person they're torturing is crying and pleading and begging, how much that person fucking hates them and wants them dead. And the only reason why that person who hates them and wants them dead hasn't lifted a weapon is because they never learned how to kill. It's because they never learned how to fight. It's because they never learned how to be the assassin. They never learned. So they acquiesce to somebody that they believe is a bigger killer than themselves. It's a survival move. It's not love. It's not devotion. It's survival. It's a fawning response turned inwards. It is fear and murderous hatred. And I have that same fear, that same hatred, that same murderous hatred in me. And ironically, me kind of understanding that and me knowing that, like, when it came to my bullies in school or in college or whatever, like, there's a good number of them that I wanted dead. There's a good number of them that I wanted dead. And in some cases, some of the people that I really, really wanted to love me, that I was begging for their approval, some of them I wanted dead the most. And some of them I literally fantasized, like, at least once every week of just emptying a clip on all my bullies. Just going round after round, just emptying the fucking clip. Are they dead? No, they're not dead enough. Let me put in another clip and empty that shit just to make sure. At least once every week I fantasized about that shit. And that's before I even knew about the gang stalking. Maybe it's because I've been gang stalked all my life, why that torture that was inflicted on me turned into that. But I've had murderous instincts. This is nothing new. It's just that I don't have the skills, and I don't have, like I said, I don't have the motivation. I said that in my last video. I don't have them. It's on Marsha the Great, by the way. I don't have the motivation to take a life. The feelings are there. The passion is there. The hatred is there. But I don't have the experience. I don't have the know-how. And I don't have the reflexes to be able to do that shit. That's the only reason why I haven't acted on killer instincts and murderous instincts that I've had in me since I was a kid being bullied. Unfortunately, I ended up passing that pain on to other people who didn't deserve it. Like, I've been the bully myself, like, in certain cases. And I really do regret that. I really do regret that I transferred that anger and that rage onto somebody else and bullied them. I do regret that I did that rather than just emptying the clip on my bullies. I really do regret it. I really regret not emptying the clip on them, because look at the world now. But then again, if there's one thing I know about evil, it's like a fucking hydra. You take off one head. You take one head off, and then, like, God knows how many other heads grow in their place. So I don't know, man. I don't know, man. But there's that gleam in people's eyes when they're torturing you, because they think they're the only ones with that murderous hatred in their soul. And they think that they, because they get away with it, they're superior. No, they're not superior. They're fucking weak. If they were strong, they would, there wouldn't be that gleam in their eye if we were on equal footing. There wouldn't be that gleam. I'm telling you right now. But that gleam comes from a feeling of superiority. I've seen it in my family. I've seen it in people who call themselves my friends, or called themselves my friends. A lot of people do not have any idea of the hatred that I have in my heart. And I feel like maybe people need to know. Because even though the psychiatry thing is meant to, how do I put this? Like, with psychiatry, and this is a safety measure, by the way. This is for everybody. It's not just for TIs. If you have impulses within you to hurt yourself or hurt other people, they're meant to take you in, right? They're meant to actually, like, monitor you and make sure that you don't have these violent feelings. They're meant to dull that with psychiatric medicine. So on the one hand, for the interest of safety, that does have to be done. But then there's another layer to it, because when you have gang stalking being done to you, and you want to kill people, you want to kill the people who are killing you, because that's what you're supposed to do, right? It's treated as the same thing as endangering the public. Really, it's not endangering the public. You want to kill people that are killing you. But because gang stalking is not acknowledged, it's treated as you endangering the public. So that's why for the longest time, when I made these videos, when I said dark thoughts or dark feelings or dark this, dark that, it was either I wanted to kill myself because I wanted the pain to stop, or I wanted to kill other people because they were killing me. I wasn't honest about that shit. I wasn't honest about that shit. I'm honest about that shit now. I don't care. And if I was so sure that sectioning was going to stop me, then maybe I'd be more afraid of it. But I'm not. They're just going to piss me off more because they can't help themselves. They're just going to piss me off more. Can't help themselves at all. Just going to piss me off more, and it's just going to be, yeah. It's just going to be me being incapacitated, having my mind ticking over, thinking of the limitations that I have to work around, becoming more resourceful in working around those limitations. Because it's not like mental health can legally do anything else, is it? All they can do is limit me for a time. So yeah, that's what the gleam in the eye thing is when it comes to people torturing me. They think that they have the last monopoly on hatred. They think their hatred is the hatred because of how privileged they are. And they have no idea. They have no idea how lucky they are to be alive. All of them, not just people like who are doing this to me now. People who have done this to me since I was a child, they don't know how lucky they are to be alive. They don't know how lucky they are that I don't know how to kill. They have no idea how fortunate they are. If I knew I could do it in such a way, I wouldn't get caught. And they wouldn't find your body until I wanted you to find it. And why not say that out loud? Why not say that out loud? We're in fascism now. The rules of fairness and justice don't apply. They ain't been applying for decades. So why not say it? The amount of people that have already been murdered through this gang stalking program, and because of the deep state's racism and sexism and all other forms of bigotry, because they want to fucking run on a lie that they're superior. They are lucky to be alive. They shouldn't be alive. Because it's because they're alive that we're looking at fascism, like looking down the barrel of fascism now. It's because they're alive that this is happening. They shouldn't be alive. Who knew that all those years ago when I told one of my bullies that they deserved to die, that I was actually right? Jesus. But then again, all human beings, we're selfish and we're petty and we act like we're not. We live in this la-la land where, because we have like large quantities of Oxycontin running through our veins whenever there's a serious crisis, that somehow we're good people. We're good people because we feel things. That's not what a good person is. If we were good people, there wouldn't be fascism going on right now. There wouldn't be Sudanese people being fucking gassed, being rounded up in concentration camps in their own country by foreigners. I just knowing that, you know what the sick thing is? I've done so many humiliating things to beg for approval and, and try to get people to notice me, try to make sure that I'm seen. I've done so many humiliating things, and the only thing that makes me feel less ashamed of myself is knowing that the entire time I had all this murderous hatred inside me. that is literally the only thing that stops me from falling into a wall of shame. Knowing that I could have killed people and didn't. And even now, I have those feelings inside me. I have murderous feelings inside me. Because that's exactly what Gangstalking wanted. They want to create black and brown killers. Black and brown terrorists. And if they're female, so much the better. That's what they've wanted all along. And, you know, I know there are white Manchurian candidates. But the only reason why they want to have white Manchurian candidates up there so that they can talk about mental health. Now you want to talk about mental health when they're white and when they're male. But black and brown people, we're just killers. That's the whole point of this gang stalking shit, controlling narratives. Cheating their way into superhuman status. Through manipulating people's minds. And manipulating what people see. But yeah. Black and brown killers. Black and brown killers. Even now, I'm resisting. There's something inside me that's just resisting the shit. Even though I feel murderously hateful most of the time, there's something inside me that's stopping me from killing people. And I know what people are going to say. Morals? No, it's not morals. Like I said before, knowing that I feel murderous inside is the only thing that stops me from feeling completely humiliated throughout my life. That's the only thing that stops it. Knowing that I wanted to kill people. Knowing that I wanted to kill the people that humiliated me. And psychologically tortured me. And bullied me. Knowing that I wanted to kill them makes me feel less ashamed of myself. That's the only way I can stand myself. Being a villain. That's the only way I can stand myself. The amount of people I've imagined gunning down anybody who made fatphobic remarks about me. Not the kids, never the kids, but like every adult who disrespected me over my weight, who disrespected me over my mental health issues, repeatedly to get a rise out of me. The fantasies I've had about gunning them down, stabbing them in the fucking throat. And I still have those fantasies. And that makes me feel a little bit better. Imagining their deaths. Imagining gruesome deaths. That's what makes me feel better. It makes me feel better to imagine the gruesome deaths of racist people. To imagine the gruesome deaths of fucking people who bullied me, people who are fatphobic, people who are like, imagining gruesome fucking bloody, like fucking just the most disgusting, dehumanizing, torturous slaughters imaginable. For all of those people. Makes me feel better. I ain't gonna hold you. But it's one thing to fantasize about it, and it's like I said, it's one thing to fantasize about it, and it's one thing to feel this way, and it's another thing to do it. The only time when I've actually really come close to wanting to do it was there was one video I watched where there was a young black boy and there was a police officer forcefully standing on this boy and trying to break this boy's back. That's one. The second time was when I saw a video of a white man walking away from a woman of color that he had just raped. And I have to admit, a third time is when anybody tries to talk about children wanting sex from grown people. Just, yo. The only time I come close to wanting to actually do it was when I've witnessed these horrific things on video. And that's the only time when I've ever thought to myself, what if I entered the clip? Sonia Massey made me feel like that too. Sonia Massey made me feel murderous. What she was subjected to at the hands of that piece of shit police officer. Murderous. That's what brings that out in me. That's what makes me feel like, you know what? I'm close. I'm real close. I'm real fucking close. And because fascism is on the rise, we're going to see a lot more of that. And as for the fat phobia, the thing about fat is that for each pound of fat, there's added muscle. I might as well put this fat to good use. And if I don't know how to kill, something tells me I better learn. Because the way these people are operating, I better learn. I don't have the black community support. I don't have the support of white community, queer community, anybody. I'm on my own, so I better learn to kill. And if it comes to sectioning, fine. It just gives me more time. It just buys me more time, as far as I'm concerned. Why am I telling the internet about it? Why not? At this point, why not? I don't have anybody's support, so what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I better learn to kill. I better fucking learn to kill. I ain't got nobody's support out here. Everybody just wants control. And nobody listened. Gangstalking paved the way for the fascism that is happening now. And nobody listened. So I better learn. I better learn to fucking kill. And I think the reason I'm talking about it online is so that I can hold myself to it. One thing I don't want to do, though, is learn to kill and then find that, you know, just because somebody talks shit about me, suddenly fists up. No. 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 This isn't about squaring up with bullies. This is about squaring up with actual predators. So, if I don't look like at least a little bit toned and at least a little bit shredded, if my punching forms don't look that good, then you can hold me to it. That's why I'm doing this online. So anybody who understands where I'm coming from, you can hold me to it if I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Yeah, that's why I'm doing this online. Yeah. Learn to kill, Marsha. Learn to kill. You have the name Marsha for a reason. So, anyway, I'm going to go. This is going up on Marsha the Great too. There's no way this isn't going to be like reported or something. I don't give a shit. Again, I have about what? 96 more 96 more profiles that I can create. Okay, I'm gonna leave it at that. Leave it at that. Maybe I shouldn't post it on Marsha the Too Great. Fuck it, post it. I don't care. I don't fucking care. So yeah, we'll talk soon. Marsha the Great out. Bye bye now.